Hello, Mohsen Mostafavi. I'm Hubei, currently a student at CAFA, and I'm interviewing you on behalf of CAFA Visual Art Innovation Institute. So here's my questions. So as the Dean of Graduate School of Design at Harvard University, what do you think is the biggest challenges that art and design school face?
I think art and design schools face a lot of challenges. Many of them are very exciting. One of the key things is for art and design to really be relevant to society. I think the other thing that's very important is for art and design to understand the implications of technology today. And probably the other big issue is really the interface between physical and digital. Today, as we're moving more and more, working more with technology, it's really imperative that we also understand the impact of technology on physical space and not just design in the old ways without understanding this tension between technology and physical space.
And your work focused on urbanization model and process research, as well as the blending of technology and aesthetics. So would you please talk specifically about your research?
Well, our society is a society that's urbanizing. All the time, the planet is developing. And this process of urbanization is really across the globe. It's happening in many, many different places. So part of the challenge is really to understand the way in which urbanization is having an impact on society. But also, if we want as a society to improve the conditions of equality, to address really the future of housing for society, to have better quality of life for our citizens, then we also need to understand urbanization more and to focus on ways in which we can really think about development within a larger context. At the same time, as architects and designers, we're also designing specific things, from the scale of the chair, to the scale of the room, to the scale of the house, to the scale of the city. And I think the combination of those sorts of questions, looking at specific qualities of things that really surround us, as well as the broader issues that are social, economic, cultural, and political in a way that transforms society. The understanding of these relationships is something that I'm very interested in. And a lot of my work tries to address these larger scale societal issues, but also through specific design ideas.
How do you define ecological urbanism? China is a fast developing country. So what do you think of the future of China's urbanization, and how do you see the model and process of the urbanization in China?
China, as you said, is urbanizing very fast, so it's a really extreme form of urbanization, and this is happening in many places around the world. This development is happening so fast that sometimes we don't really know how we have to, as designers, address the question of this rapid scale of urbanization. So my work and the work of others on this intersection between ecology and urbanization is to understand how we focus on the limitations of resources that are available to us, but also that we are more careful and conscious of the resources that the planet is offering us, that these are not just limitless resources. And at the same time, as designers, we are innovative, we're inventive, we're creative, and we come up with more exciting ideas and designs with the understanding of these limited resources. So the combination of less resources with innovative, creative design is really, that combination for me defines ecological urbanism.
What is the relationship between academic research and the practice of architecture? And what do you think of it?
I think that it's very important for us, from the perspective of the academy, to be providing alternative solutions, providing strategies for practice, and really through our work transform practice. At the same time, it's very important for the academy to be connected to practice, not to be not aware of what is happening. Therefore, we can also learn from the reality setting conditions of practice in order to be able to both add to our knowledge but also transform the nature of that practice. So this is a kind of constantly back and forth relationship between the academy and practice. At the same time, it's also very important to recognize that the academy gives you, especially for example in the case of China, a sort of idea of time, a longer time, a duration, that in practice I know in China a lot of things have to be done very quickly. One advantage of being in the academy is that you could have more time. So you can also evolve and develop things and think about things and do research over not only 2 weeks or 3 weeks of a project, but a year or 2 years or 3 years. And I think this difference in duration is an interesting part of the way in which academic research can also contribute to the changes in practice today.
And what is the potential direction of development in the field of architecture? Please talk about your vision and expectation for the future of architecture.
Well, as you know, today we've had a very interesting conversation about the post-Bauhaus and what do we do. Always as academics, as people who are involved in the field of design, we are thinking more projectively, what do we need to do, what will happen. I think our work is, on the one hand, has to respond more and more to societal needs, to understanding what humanity needs, to understand what the world needs. And these needs are, in many places, are very similar, that people really need better living environments, places of wonderful public spaces, good infrastructure and transportation, and all of those things. So architecture's role, on the one hand, needs to be both enhancing its aesthetic qualities. It must be beautiful, but it must also serve society. How to combine this interrelationship is very important. At the same time, I think it's the impact of technology, social media, the way in which we are thinking about the future in some ways is happening faster than it has done in the past. So part of our vision for the future is really understanding ways in which architecture can respond to issues of digital culture, and the way in which the non-physical also plays a more important part in the transformation of physical society in the years.
And as a chief expert of CAFA Visual Art Innovation Institute, would you like to talk about your future work plan?
I think that I'm very excited to learn more about the ways in which institutions like CAFA, where they have great students, they have great faculty, they really can address societal issues that will be of importance to China, but also through the work that is being done in a place like CAFA. What's exciting is that it's an institution that really works very closely at the intersection of architecture, design, art practice, digital media, and I think it would be exciting to find out how we can create or benefit from a more collaborative platform across these different disciplines in the years to come.